Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here today at our continuing efforts at bringing you storytelling from our point of view from the Blue Collar Hustle, which is nothing more than a bunch of blue-collar guys getting together, and gals, we're going to have gals, and talking our story, talking about what's going on, and keeping that flow going. We are in the beginning, the entry level of what it is that we're trying to do, which is kind of the point. You know, a lot of people are just sitting there waiting to get things polished, for it to be perfect, for it to be right. Clearly, we are not. But that doesn't stop me from trying to get this story off the ground and get you guys a little bit more interested each episode, bringing different guests on. Today we do not have one, but that's okay because I want to be able to bring everything together in these beginning episodes to let you kind of know what to expect as we grow from here. In our background today is the MC of the day, Brian. Brian, say hello.
You just said that you don't have a guest.
I know.
And then
but you're not my
so
guest.
I'm not nobody, basically.
See, like I already disrespected him, and that is actually a perfect entry into what we were going to talk to you guys about today, which is that generational gap of communications between, like, I am actually afraid to even call myself old school, or I feel still so young, but am I an old school guy?
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible.
You are
it's
old.
terrible. I can't believe I'm an old school guy now.
Once
However,
you pass 30, you old.
30 is the line?
30,
get
30.
out of here. Anywho, that's what we're going to do. It's a generational communication gap that we want to be able to share our perspective on. And as my business is growing, as the podcast is growing, as everything that's growing around us, I'm watching that a lot more and more. Some of the key players are these younger. What are you? Gen X?
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Z. I'm sorry.
I think
I'm
I'm
X.
Z.
I don't really get into all the knowings of all the ins and outs
Me
of it.
neither. That's why.
All I know is that in my my business now we have a Gen Zer, and I find it super curious to watch the way things land for that person and how I hear it. And then we kind of try to connect the dots because otherwise it would be a completely different language. And just like me and you right here, I disrespected you already by not giving you your clout as being a guest, but you're not my guest.
I should be just a guest, you know? I know I'm going to be here every day. I'm here behind all these cables and computer and stuff, but doesn't matter, you know? Hi, my name is Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
He's good. We got to get him out from behind the camera, right, folks? Because, you know. Yeah.
I like behind the cameras. It's fun, you know?
That's where you're most comfortable there?
You know what? I could do both, actually.
You can.
I could do both. I have my own podcast, you know, but yeah, I like behind the camera, at least for this. But I could do both.
You know what's so weird? This
What?
podcast was created off the energy that I had off of other videos, and I just really enjoy the camera part of it. I didn't think I would, which is, again, another generational thing where some people are afraid to get behind the camera because they might think they look or sound a certain way. Who cares? Your story will be transferred through the lens. No? Is that not accurate?
No, yes, but I feel like that happens more with you guys. The
Who's you
older-
guys? Did you call me old again?
Maybe, but I think that happens with you guys. Like, as soon as you guys see a camera, I get like a little. Now we have a lot of social media like TikTok, Instagram, and stuff that a lot of us young people, not you, us young people, we like work on it, so it's like easier. But like when we started doing videos for you, or like when I started doing videos for you, you know, it was a little harder with the cameras and stuff. But now it's like it just comes off natural.
And I love that. And that's actually part. Let's just dive right into that right now. You just mentioned something about social media. This is a podcast. This is something where we're going to be, you know, telling stories. We're going to put this out on all the related platforms wherever we can. Try our best to broadcast what we're trying to say. And a lot of people still are running very successful businesses without it. None of it.
I don't know how.
No recognition, no labor, especially in the blue-collar world. High-end, super successful people running without this. And I've heard some back and forth onto whether, you know, that's sustainable or not. Like, where are these same successful people without any kind of social media engagement or social media branding or branding in general? Where are they in 10 years? are they still around when all these other companies, to really, to be honest with you, they don't have any experience or as much experience in doing these blue collar trades, but they are riddled with young people that are really killing it in content creation, side branding as like a salesman will be able to brand himself for a company, and then just generating business after business and marketing and sales out in the field. You got foremen, taking pictures and it's like really bolstering that company's reputation. Where is that line gonna end of the people that aren't doing it and their success starts to be affected by it? I don't know.
I mean, where were you 10 years ago before you started doing videos? When you were my age, because you was a roofer since probably you was born, because you grew up doing that. So
I'm not that old. But so to answer the question, it's like I grew up with nothing as far as social media. Mm-hmm. Literally, in my 20s, I don't even know what year that was. Early 2000s, I guess. Somewhere in that world.
2002,
yeah.
Probably.
So how much was really going on for blue collar businesses in that world? Almost nothing. It was in other trades, So it's really, and I would say the last 5 years gotten some real traction. And that's the question, and that's actually some of the kind of people I want to be able to get on here. Is I want to see the markers of where social media has affected you in a positive way, or maybe negative, but where has social media affected you in your business, and those little ins and outs, those little nuances of marketing and strategy and branding. How did it help you? Those people are going to be on here, and we're going to be able to get behind the scenes on that. And we have several, because I'm from that generation of the old school blue collar guys that are just going to tell you, get out of here with the camera. Get out of here with the social media. Get out of here with the TikTok. Get out of here with that. It's not going to do anything. And they're sitting on stacks of money and business, shouting from the rooftops that you don't need it to get this.
One question. Was your business better before you started doing videos or after? It could be number-wise, like money-wise, let's say, or even relationship-wise. I don't know.
I would say this: the social media era is really gonna be a marker and change in business. Because to answer your question, is it better or worse? I don't think it's either. It's just different. It's just how business is actually going now. It's just what business is. Better or worse? Yeah, somebody will see and bolster up bigger numbers, and you'll be able to I think I told this story before. I got an old customer from 15 years ago off of a random TikTok that one of his nieces or his daughter saw on her phone. He happened to see it, looked over, said, "Who's that?" I know him. Called me out of nowhere. Ended up getting seven-figure jobs out of a random TikTok, right?
Balling.
Random TikTok.
I mean, that's how it is nowadays. I feel like that's. You know how companies, and I'm pretty sure you do it, you have sales reps. Now, social media is actually a sales rep without paying him any percentages. So I feel like the guys that are not using it now, they just going to have to start using it yes to keep their business alive. If they don't, then it's just, maybe not going to be good. Maybe
it's going to be a weird thing for proving these guys right or wrong, right? Because all the guys that are saying that they don't need it, whatever, they're 10 years or less before they're retired, sitting on a beach anyway. Doesn't matter. It's not going to affect them. I think it's longer term than that. But let's jump into this generational conversation that we have, right? So a lot of the young people are the ones that are manning and womaning all these positions that are boosting up the blue-collar trades. Yourself, media. We have a younger girl here in the office that's handling my clients' relations for the business that we have, and I'm watching it and I'm impressed. Wow. And I often hear the opposite. I often hear the older generation forcing their way because they went through the trenches and that's their way. And I'm kind of like that a little bit. But really, I've just been letting the people that are around me that are better at me than all these things, go ahead, show me. and I'll tweak it a little bit. But man, I run into so much friction in the communication gap between me
that I'm young.
and you,
Yeah.
young ass.
Do you? One question. Do you? I forget to click this when I'm talking or whatever, but it's okay. Do you have or had any trust issues? Let's say when you first started, when you
100%.
first hired, yeah. Because of that, the generation gap.
No, the trust issues are never between the generation gap. The trust issues are from wounds that blue collar people have that we just carry around all over the place, like scars and battle wounds. Like that's a whole nother topic. We're gonna have like some trauma relief person on to unpack the traumas of all the blue collar stories and war stories that have molded us into what we are today. But I don't have a trust issue with a younger person doing a project now. I don't. I'm a weird hybrid, I believe. I try to bolster up their strengths so that they feel part of the team quicker.
Yeah.
So that when I have I'm gonna coin little Gary V word here. When I'm able to deploy kind candor on them, which I'm still working on how to do because I'm a little sarcastic at times.
A lot.
Am I a lot?
A lot. Yeah.
I'm a lot sarcastic. So my kind candor is more sarcastic candor. So I'm tweaking it around a little bit. However, I'm able to land a little better with that when I bolster up their strengths, and that's how I've been trying to lead. And that's how I'm hoping that some of these younger people can also look at that. You're talking to older bosses, older things that they might have their feet stuck in the mud on certain things, but they got to that position for a reason. So have some consideration on how you approach the older generation in how you're going to go. I really hate this is what I want, this is what I'm worth, this is what I should get. Stop it. Because I'd rather see a little game first, right? Like,
Let me see what you got.
yeah, you're a sports guy.
Yeah.
So
Every
you-
sport.
so-
I'm Dominican. Every sport.
Every sport, right?
Yeah.
Ah, damn. So when somebody gets drafted, what are they getting drafted for?
For a team, for money, or whatever.
Because
or,
somebody saw something in them that they want them. There wasn't just some random choice. Let me go get this guy. Seems big, seems strong. He should be able to whack a couple home runs.
Yeah.
Negative. They go through a whole career, either collegiately or in their
Private
country
workouts.
or whatever. They're just monsters in their old trade on the back of their own efforts. That model is what I'm trying to put a little bit more onus on for the younger generation coming in here, because they're stuck. They're stuck in probably the most expensive time right now of their life with no money. So of course they're going to want to squeeze that orange for as much juice as they can. But at the same time, you got to put the efforts in. Most of us, you call me old school, blue collar guy, old school. Most of us are just like so war torn that we're like working even when we're not working, like going around looking for shit to do because I'm a little bored right now. Let me go fix the shed. Let me go change the oil in the fucking lawnmower. I don't know anything.
When you used to work with your dad back in the days, did your dad treat you like a little kid, even though, let's say, you were my age, maybe at your 20s, that you're considered a little older, but he was still treating you like, yeah, let me hold you by your hands because I don't want you to mess up and then ruin the company, blah, blah, blah. How was working with your dad when you were my age, going back on your story?
I like that. Actually, somebody say something if they want to see my dad on here. Give me. They should, right?
Comment down below. Yeah. We want to
comment
see.
something. Send a smoke signal, an email, a DM, whatever you got to do. Let me know if you want my dad in here, and also let me know if you know my dad. My dad was in the industry for, I don't know, 50 years.
50 years. Sheesh.
Yeah, I think so. I'm doing a little mental math now in my head, but yeah, probably like 50 years.
That is crazy.
Maybe more.
You know what's crazy? And I'm sorry that I interrupt you. At your wedding, Jeremy got married. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that maybe
That's a whole
later.
nother thing.
Yeah, but I'm mentioning that because when I went to your wedding, I saw your dad talking to Mikey, and they were talking about roofing.
He doesn't know
Like,
how to. Yeah.
They were having a whole conversation about roofing, and I'm just looking at them like, and Mikey was like asking him for like a suggestion or something, but it was interesting because it's like you see you got this generation and then you got this one, and it's like this one is looking for this knowledge even though your dad is retired and like, you know, he's not on the field no more. But
You just reminded me of something else. One of the content people that I listen to a lot says this one thing also. Take the time to talk to older people. And I don't mean older like 40, 50 like me. Like I'm talking like older people. Somebody that's in their 70s, 80s, 90s that has experienced life, and the only thing they want to talk about is what, you know, the accomplishments, what their regrets, what they didn't do, or just a little tidbits of advice. It's key. It's so key. My dad is stuck in a little bit of, you know, telling that story back. You know, I want to get him on here. I want to be able to do him, but like a perfect example why I started to change the way I ran the business was because of that. And sadly is because I was watching that generation only know one thing, and then when it came time to not be able to do that one thing, if there was no preparation, life doesn't look, it's not as exciting. It's not great. The golden arches are sitting there. They're just nothing is, I don't think he anticipated that. And it's sad. It's sad to look. It's sad to watch. So I pivoted very quickly. To be able to know that, hey, I'm not going to be here forever. And when the time comes and I get off the roof and I get out of the blue collar business on a day to day, that there's going to be time that I want to have the end of my life to be fruitful as fuck. You know?
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to play with grandkids, go on vacation, go to places I wasn't able to go during the, you know, and it starts now. It starts now. It's again another reason for the generational gap to be closed, because I promise you, OGs, that's where your secrets are going to be, and that's where the power is going to be derived from to get you to that end point. You know, there's only so much, you know, old school mentality that we can push before we have to inject the youth and what they're doing now, how they're doing it, and what business looks like now. You know, I went from having a one management person over the top of like anywhere between 20 and 40 guys, just working. There's no middle. There's no you know, people. It was just workhorses. To now, most businesses in this trade, in the trades, you know, you got to have middle people. You got to have people doing other things to promote the business, to get the word out there, to advertise, to market, to sell. And it's not the old school guys anymore.
Yeah,
it's not. And if we don't put them in our paths of success, our successes are not going to happen as easily or even at all the way we think.
yeah. It's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, and then like next thing you know, that long time is up, and
That's it.
You ran out of time.
Yeah, time
Yeah.
is expensive.
What do you think the biggest obstacle for you when talking to somebody older that you might value their opinion on, but you're like, what is this guy talking about? What's your biggest stumbling block?
I feel like it's more like the way of, maybe even the way of explaining that, or the way of getting it done. It's like, why do it like that when you can do it like this? But again, you think bad, or at least myself, that's how I think. Like, why would I question you when you have a lot more experience than me, for me to be able to think that I'll do it this way better than yours? So it's like, I'm a listener. I don't know if you've noticed, whenever you're talking or telling me something, or you want to pick up my brain or whatever, I just answer and then listen to your question to see where you're at, because of course you're older. But I feel like a lot of young people, they're scared of old people telling them that they doing things wrong. Like a lot of us, we don't know how to like accept that we're wrong and just listen to you guys.
So that is an excellent thing. So I'm gonna say this. That sounded like both sides need to talk better, right?
Communication.
Much like a parent to a child, right? I know that analogy is not always what the young people want to hear because they want to. I'm not a kid anymore. I stand on my own 2 feet. Great. It's just a similarity of a parent to a child in the way they'll raise them. You know, my kid right now, I go and I get stuck on the iPad. I get stuck on the computer. I get stuck on, you know, maybe the internet's not working right. I'm calling my single-digit old kids to, hey, can you come over here and fix this out, please? And they'll walk right over with a lollipop hanging out of their mouth or an icy or whatever, and
Fixed.
and it's fixed. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like in my mind, I'm like, man, that's how detached I am. But whatever. I think it's more of a communication thing. I think that the older generation has to be more communicative on their desires and have patience to get there. Simultaneously, I think the younger people and the chip on the shoulder of getting the accolades quicker needs to have more patience as well. And I think I'm with this group right now that we talk constantly about accountability. And it goes both ways. Older, younger, accountability knows no age, right?
Yeah.
It's just if I say something, if we have a communication, be it wage or performance, I gotta live by it. Mm-hmm. Vice versa, if it's based on performance and you don't perform as a younger person and get the results that were set on paper that has an ageless number on it, it's just a performance thing for that business. You gotta go. You have nothing. You can't say, oh, it's just because he was old and didn't explain right. You didn't go. You didn't do it. You know, I another thing that one of the I like to repeat a lot of the stuff I found online because it's like the reason I'm here, because I feel like a lot of these big images online are intimidating, and I am not intimidating. I'm just a blue collar guy sipping some tequila, and I'm relating some of the things I heard from these guys and bringing it to the table of guys like me and guys like Brian. He's doing a little Dunkin' today. I'm doing tequila. But
He wanted me to drink tequila, but I said no because it's Wednesday. Who does alcohol on a weekday? But
you know who does alcohol on a weekday?
You
Blue collar hustlers do alcohol
Yeah,
on a
I do it
weekday.
every day.
Cheers.
Yep. Now, I wanted to say something that
Please carry on.
I feel like that used to happen with my dad. I grew up in Dominican Republic. My dad used to have a hardware store. So, of course, as a dad, you're going to bring your kid to work with you, blah, 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 blah. A lot of times he would tell me to do stuff that if he didn't get done the way he told me to do it, it was wrong. And I feel like a lot of older people have that problem, that if it doesn't get done the way you say it's supposed to be done, it's wrong. And I feel like that's wrong because there's different ways of doing a lot of things.
But how would you, I don't know when this happened, but how would you today, this is for the young people out there today, when you're in a situation where you feel as though your boss or superiors or manager or whoever's one up the ladder from you doesn't feel, or you don't feel that they acknowledge the effort, and or you feel like the direction you were given was incorrect, how are you as the younger generation voicing that opinion?
I mean, it depends. Some people communicate and just say it is straight done, but as I said before, some older people, they think, no, you got to do it this way, and that's the way I want it. So let's say if you was, let's say, my boss, and let's say, I don't know, I used to work at a sneaker store, and let's say you're the owner of the sneaker store, and you tell me this is supposed to be done this way. A lot of people and a lot of, let's say, employees, when they get told that it's supposed to be done that way, and if it's not that way, it's wrong, they would just do it to do it and not put the effort of maybe doing it better. You get it?
Who's saying that? The younger people?
Yeah, of course.
So here's what I'm going to say to you. Experiment for all you younger people out there. And this is where the separation begins. As a younger generation, I cannot have everybody just thinking that their way is the right way and the old way is old and it's not going to work. I just like the older generation only got the way they were because they just did what their parents and their generation previous told them to do, right? So younger generation, I believe, is in a little pickle, right? So how do you prove yourself?
By doing it?
By doing it
another way?
By doing it. I promise you this. The older people now here it's also a fitment in business, meaning maybe you shouldn't work there, right? So, perfect example to your sneaker store. Let's just say that
I'm just saying it as an example.
a perfect example,
Yeah.
but it was a perfect example because any example would have been perfect in this.
You know me.
I do know you. So if that particular guy told you to set up the sneaker store up, like I want this display on this, and I want this color shoe out in the front, and you're like, that's just not going to work. That's not hot right now. What are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to say that.
No. because
Respectful
it's
to
your
the moment.
boss.
So I'm doing something. Let that happen. And then all it takes is for you to do whatever it is you're going to do in another area, directing. Anytime somebody comes into that sneaker store, bringing them over directly to you, or having that sneaker that you wanted to put out front in your hands, you're dueling. You're dueling. In the beginning, learning somebody, and just a suggestion, you're dueling. I want to give a little piece of whatever I'm asked of, and I'm also going to share a little bit of insight on what I think might work. And guess what? You're going to know the results. It's not going to be a mystery. If you're selling, hey, by the way, boss, your purple sneakers that you put out front, we didn't get any hits today, but I got these freshies that were in the back. I just want to let
The
you
ones
know.
I told you.
Yeah, the ones I told you, but without that. But these freshies out here that just came out. I know they didn't think they looked good, but guess what? We sold 10 pair today because I decided to walk around and bring it to the front and show them, give them that opportunity to see, touch, and feel it.
As a business owner, you would be happy with that?
Pause. I'm very happy with that, right? Because I've churned over a leaf that shows up the mindset to, like, I just want to show me the results and the idea, let's go, right? But some old school guys are not going to be that. They're going to have to be repetitive. They're going to have to go. And then if it doesn't work and you have friction, you're going to have to sit down and communicate.
Yep.
Or you're going to leave and try something else because it's not every position is going to be fit for every ute.
Okay. One thing. And it comes like that, like that. It comes to the same topic. You know how a lot of roofers, a lot of whatever you're doing, contractors, whatever, you guys always had somebody, one employee that was there with chat since you started the business, or at least from the beginning. Then you guys go up, but there is a point where that employee wants to have his own company because he feels like he has the knowledge. He feels like he can do it himself. How do you feel about that? And I ask because I know a few contractors that has happened to them, and they that bothers them because it's like, oh, I taught you, and now you're just gonna, like
I don't
betray
care.
me or whatever. Okay,
I don't mind. I don't mind.
it has happened to you.
In a way, it's happened to me, but I don't mind, and I'll tell you why. Because, and I don't mind now. I would have minded, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Maybe because your dad taught you that.
No. I will say this. I would have minded 15, 20 years ago because I wouldn't have communicated in the way I'm communicating today. Right now, if you are working for me and you've been working for me right now, today, but we've been talking the last, 5, 10, whatever it is, 5, 10 years, I'm already gonna know that you're gonna have you have an exit strategy because we're talking about it.
Okay.
Both of us are building that plan to have you go do your own thing. Yes, occasionally you get snuck and you get blindsided by somebody, but for the most part, I'm really trying to operate where I know what they're gonna do, and if you guys are here for a little time or a long time, it's gonna be a good time because I want to be able to, help in that manner. I'm there now. It's so weird.
Now you're
I'm here there now. Before, maybe I would curse you out and tell you, go fuck yourself, get out of here. But I'll really be proud of if someone can create a business that's successful off the back of working next to me for X amount of years, gaining X amount of knowledge, and has the inspiration and the drive to go create another business and succeeds, that's a win for me.
Yeah. But how long is it gonna take for you to see that successful business?
Oh, that's up to them.
All right,
That's up to them.
Okay.
I've failed so many times. I stopped counting. Anybody that's successful has failed more times than they've succeeded.
Yeah, that is right.
They just happen to be on one or the other at the moment, you know. That's it. I'm doing. We're doing all right. You know, this blue collar hustle is really something that I want to keep going at and tell the story out, because this is a successful industry if you play it right, and this generational connection is going to be the key to that, because you know, trade schools aren't popping up all over the place, really.
No.
You know, people are they're not willing to go do this trade. So what does that mean? It's just like the housing market. It's supply and demand. You don't have any houses. The houses that are for sale are going to ask, they can ask whatever they want. You know, it's similar. Something similar kind of sort of is going to happen in this labor world, because, you know, if no one's really driving to do this stuff and technology hasn't caught up enough to replace people to plumb, roof, electric, frame, masonry, asphalt, all these trades. If technology hasn't kicked the blue collar guy off and come up with something new, those positions will be open. And then the less and less people that are doing them, it's going to be a really lucrative business to be in. When
Nice.
you're doing it, you know,
You have
successfully.
you have plans of, because it was this guy. Let's say Simpson Roofing was your dad's, then you, I imagine, right? If I'm not wrong. You wish and you want that, like, your kids go through the same thing. Like,
Negative.
you don't want them to be this business owner.
Negative.
Why not?
So I'll tell you this. It's a generational thing again, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's why I asked. That's my last question for the day. Okay.
yeah, that's an amazing question, because it's gonna be full circle on generational. I believe, for me, just for me, not for anybody else, unless you share, but I wasn't pushed in any one direction to be in a business or not be in a business. It just happened the way life threw some events at me, and I landed there, you know? So I kept it, and I ended up being successful with it. I ended up finding a passion in it, and it just drove me to continue to do it. But for my kids, I would love to find their passion and see it and give that fuel and show them what it is to take on a business, show them what it takes to kind of have that duality between running your own business and being your own boss and being in the home, being a father, being a mother, being whatever it is, whoever it is, and doing that double lift might not be for everybody. Same thing with sports. You know, I was pushed through sports. I was not pushed through sports. I loved sports growing up, but in the direction I was in was higher level. It wasn't like intramural, little kicking around, right? It was higher level. It was training after hours. It was going abroad. It was going all over the place, and it took me away. It changed the direction of what my childhood would have been like, right?
Yeah.
So I have that in my mind. So I want to allow them to just have their own choices. You know, inserting discipline where discipline's needed, inserting leisure where leisure's needed, giving them structure, doing the best that I can as a parent without having to really overly push them in any one direction, while simultaneously telling them that I have this.
If you want it, you can
But
come take it.
this takes a lot. Are you ready for it? Are you cut for it? All that.
Did your father? Oh, I say it was my last question. Did your father give you the option? Because I imagine he just, this is what I do. Okay, come through. Like, oh, this my son. Come watch me work, whatever. And then eventually you just, I guess you got to an age, then he just say, come
No.
work with me or whatever. You say, oh, I'm gonna work with that.
Negative. I was like any kid working, family business. I went to school, and then I go to work in the summers with dad when I was a teen, whatever, and that was fun. And then it turned serious after 18, and then I'm there. But then I like skipped for school for a little bit, and I found like school wasn't I wasn't cut out for school. I just wasn't a school guy.
Yeah.
I'm not an academic guy. The books are rough, you know. I'll listen to an audiobook, but I'm not. The reading thing is.
Yeah, I can't even do audiobooks.
It's tough. It's tough. I'm changing now. Honestly, it's just now happening where I'm able to open up a book and actually read it rather than listening to an audio. It's just I'd rather communicate and talk and ask, but I don't. I was never. It was never like here push to this. I actually I actually messed up in life. And what I just said before about my kids, hey, do what you got to do. I'm going to support you. I'm going to bolster up whatever it is that you think that you need. I'll help. I'll support. Just all that jazz. But I got this over here. I ended up going to my dad's version of I got this over here, and I just went to it, and then I stuck with it because where I was going was a bad path. I had to do a quick flip.
So you didn't have an
reverse.
option. You had to do it, basically.
I had an option, but I didn't know I had an option at the moment
And
as
then
a
you
teenager.
And you just picked the wrong path, let's
Yeah.
say. But, well, I mean...
I will never say wrong path. I will never say wrong path because it was the path. I don't think there's any right or wrong. It was a path that I ended up choosing, that I ended up being successful at, that I ended up now in my OG stage, beginning, not old.
The word OG, that's how y'all called yourself old
How y'all?
without... Y'all, yeah.
I'm not. Is there? I can't. I don't think I'm going to get over this episode about me being called old.
No, I'm not calling you old. I'm
But a
calling you
little
OG,
bit.
but the
Is
way...
that better? It's a
You
little bit,
saying
right?
OG, that's my question.
I know I said it, but
Like, the
is that
way y'all
better?
say OG is like the way of calling y'all old, but that y'all don't want to use that word, and y'all just be like OG.
Yeah.
Got it. Call me the rookie then. Don't call me young.
Oh, the
Don't call me
rookie.
young. The rookie. He a rookie. That's it. I'm fine with it.
Oh, man, that's a great one. We're going to keep that. Rookie.
The rookie.
Anyway, so, yes, the OG mentality, I forgot what the hell I was even going to say about it. But,
Pick it up. Pick it up.
yeah, pick it up. What the heck was I even saying?
I don't remember what you were saying.
Where did it go?
Yeah. I remember.
God damn it,
just
Brian.
flew. I'm sorry.
God damn it. Son of a bitch. Took me right off track. I'll just have a sip of tequila instead. Maybe it'll bring back the thought. But now let's just come to a conclusion here that this food for thought for today. The Blue Collar Hustle is here to be a platform for storytelling. I'm going to keep repeating that. I'm going to keep saying that because I want to be able to have people come out of the woodwork telling stories that are maybe unconventional, success stories, failure stories, all that jazz, right? But I want to be able to have that place of that chair is where we're telling stories, and I want to be able to fill it with people that are comfortable and also blue collar affiliates, the hustlers. And inside that, in today's episode about the generational gap, take it home. Don't discount this youth. They are what we are going to be able to get to our success goals at the end of the business. We're not going to be able to get it without them. We're there.
Yeah.
Right?
you. Yeah.
How am I going to get there without you, baby?
I don't know.
Right? I'm not
Yeah.
going to get there.
I'll call you Uber. But thank you for listening.
Brian, I'm going to
me.
need more energy from that. As a loud OG guy here, I'm going to need more energy from my youths, from my rookie.
You feel like I'm lacking of energy?
I need more energy as we leave right now. These people, these fine people that are watching right now. We got some OGs that maybe they're just clicking on, clicking off. Who knows? They might have fallen asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got to wake them up, right?
Yeah.
We got to keep energy
Yeah.
going, and I want to be able to have that energy of the rookie, just as strong.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you for watching. If you're still there, subscribe, like, comment, and blue collar, keep hustling. You're doing good, and us young people, we're gonna get it for you. So yeah.
Do you see what I mean? We got to get the youth. We got to get them lined up. That energy was great, was it not? Amazing. But me as an OG, I'm going to have 2 cents about it, right? Guys, this is my 2 cents. Keep your 2 cents in your pocket. If that young guy is doing his thing, throwing that energy down, bringing that crowd in, bringing those new things to your business, let that thing fly with guidance. And I promise you, you're going to have some success on the back end. Peace out, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, as my friend Brian said. Rookie
The
out.
rookie.
Rookie out. OG out.